So like, yeah, I got the video cut out. Anyway, I'm on verse 2. Then I beheld, and lo, a likeness as the appearance of fire, from the appearance of his loins even downward, fire, and from his loins even upward, the appearance of brightness as the color of amber. So Ezekiel just saw this image, which was, it was like it was Yahweh, but it was what he's describing it as the appearance of his loins downward was like fire, and then upward was like the appearance of brightness, like the color amber, which that color amber is like a yellowish color, or bright yellow. So this is what he was seeing. In verse 3 it says, he put forth the form of an hand and took me by a lock of mine head. So here's another verse that proves to you, the Israelites are not so-called white people. Because white people, they're not going to have dreadlocks. And it doesn't mean that Ezekiel had long dreadlocks. It just means he had, sometimes you have dreadlocks and they're not long. So it's not like he had long hair like a woman. But just more proof showing you that this is not talking about no so-called white man, no Edomite, right? He put forth a form, so that image he saw, which was amber, his upper part was amber, his bottom part was fire, became like a form of a hand, it says here, and took me by my lock of mine head, and the Spirit lifted me up between the earth and the heaven, and brought me in the visions of the Most High to Jerusalem, to the door of the inner gate that looketh toward the north, where was the seat of the image of jealousy, which provoketh to jealousy. All right? Let's get this precept really quick. 32:16, it says, they provoked him to jealousy with strange gods, with abominations provoked him, they him to anger. So our people, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai are jealous. They have jealous is a natural emotion, which jealousy, there's nothing wrong to be jealous, It's a natural emotion. This is basically how you control your spirit, But just showing you that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is a jealous power, and we provoke him to anger when we go off and, follow these other gods, which are not Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Jesus Christ, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai are jealous of Jesus Christ, and all these other false idols pisses them off. So let's keep reading. Ezekiel 8:4. So Ezekiel was, the image turned into a hand, right? Took form of a hand, took him by his dreadlock, and was showing him in a vision in the door of the inner gate where he saw this jealousy image. And let's keep reading. Ezekiel 8:4. And behold, the glory of Yahweh of Israel was there according to the vision that I saw in the plain. And then he said unto me, Son of man, lift up thine eyes now the way toward the north. So I lifted up mine eyes the way toward the north, and behold, northward at the gate of the altar, this image of jealousy in the entry. So it's constantly bringing up jealousy, because we just read Yahweh is a jealous power. And when you follow other gods or other idols, false idols, it literally pisses Yahweh Bashim Yahushai off, where the point where he's jealous, right? Jealousy is the rage of a man. Let's see if I can get that verse. Let's get Proverbs. jealousy is a natural emotion that we have. People say, "Oh, you can't be jealous," or "You can't." Well, you can. That doesn't mean you gotta control your spirit, but it ain't a sin to be jealous. Proverbs 6:34. For jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. And this is the same thing as Yahawah B'Shem Yahushai. All right, the day of vengeance. We read that Yahweh is a jealous man. Jealous power. It's a slip of the tongue. A jealous power, because he's not a man. So Yahushai is going to come back. He's not going to meet thee as a man, but the Most High, the Father and the Son, are like-minded men, both having that jealousy, and that rage is going to come out when Yahawah B'Shem Yahushai, when they visit the earth, right? Just like a man, if he's jealous of his woman and his woman goes out on him, then that rage that he has, hey, he could murder the adulterer, the man who is messing with his woman. That's the same thing, the same rage. That's how you compare that to. If you're a man and you ever had a wife and she cheated on you, or you caught her in the act, hey man, that's a fucked up situation. You may kill that man. So that's why I'm bringing this out, this verse 34. For jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. So Yahawah B'Shem Yahushai are austere, jealous men. You see? Yahweh, he just, there ain't nothing more that pisses him off when you Israelites are out here being spiritual whores, going off to these other idols and these other gods. I mean, we go to the very first commandment. Let's get that. The very first commandment, man. This is what Yahweh commanded. Well, let's start at 1. And the Most High spake all these words, saying, I am Yahweh, thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. So he took us out of slavery in ancient Egypt. And this is his commandments. You want to find the 10 commandments? It's Exodus 20. His very first commandment says, verse 3, thou shalt have no other gods before me. So you see that when you break that law, you're making Yahawah B'Shem Yahushai, you're making Yahweh jealous. Pisses him off. Rage. Okay? That's why a lot of these Israelites, 2/3 of our people, are going to get fucked up on that. When Yahawah B'Shem Yahushai, when I should say Yahushai and those angels crack those clouds, all hell's going to break loose, man. And if you're not in the fold, you don't have the faith, or you don't believe in Yahawah B'Shem Yahushai, you're going to be dead meat, man. Guaranteed. He's going to come back with vengeance and rage. And it goes back to that jealousy, anger, vengeance. Anyway, let me get back to Ezekiel. Let's see, where am I at? Ezekiel 8 and verse 6. It says, he said furthermore unto me, Son of man, seest thou what they do, even the great abominations that the house of Israel committed here? So when he was lifted up, Ezekiel, by the hand, which Yahweh took the form of a hand, grabbed his lock and was showing him these visions, and he was looking like through these small, in this one instance, he's looking through the gate. But let me keep reading it. He said, furthermore unto me, Son of man, seest thou what they do, even the great abominations that the house of Israel committed here, that I should go far off from my sanctuary, but turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations. So, in this chapter, Ezekiel's Yahweh is showing Ezekiel these abominations that the Israelites are committing. Right? Remember, he's jealous, pissed off, angry. So he's giving his prophet, hey, he's telling his prophet, look, this is how wicked they are. And that's what he does with us. Like, when we start to grow in this truth and learn this truth, we realize how wicked our people are, man. You know? Gets to a point where you're just like, with the 2/3, we just moved on from the 2/3. The brothers in this truth, who are growing in this truth, if you're in the right mindset, you've already moved on from the 2/3. Verse 7. And he brought me to the door of the court, and when I looked, behold, a hole in the wall. So this was a hole in the wall, meaning this is like a discrete thing happening, behind a wall, and you had to look through this hole to see what was going on. It says, Then said he unto me, Son of man, dig now in the wall. And when I had digged in the wall, behold, a door. And he said unto me, Go in and behold the wicked abominations that they do here. So I went in and saw, in every form of creeping thing and abominable beasts, and all the idols of the house of Israel portrayed upon the wall round about. So there was just a bunch of wickedness, filthiness going on in this vision that Yahweh was giving to the prophet Ezekiel. All right? Verse 11. And there stood there before them 70 men of the ancients of the house of Israel, and in the midst of them stood Jaazaniah, the son of Shaphan, with every man his censer in his hand, and a thick cloud of incense went up. So they're in there doing some wicked ritual, right? That wasn't a custom of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Wasn't a custom of the Israelites. But he was basically looking at these Israelites through this hole, seeing these abominations happening. Just like now, you got our people doing this shit like this in the Catholic Church. You see, the so-called Catholic Church, they do these they be throwing the censers and the cloud of incense. Verse 12. Then said he unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark? So this is behind closed doors when these ancient men, they're Israelites, but they were in darkness, committing abomination, and doing it secretive. That's why Yahweh had to show him through this little hole, like, hey, go look in this little hole in the wall, see what's going on in here. Every man in his chambers of his imagery, for they say, Yahweh seeth us not, and Yahweh hath forsaken the earth. You see, they had that mindset where they think Yahweh didn't see them and didn't see their wickedness, didn't see their abominations. But that's not true, because we can go to Proverbs and 15:3, and let's see what that say. Okay, verse 3. The eyes of Yahweh are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. So the eyes of Yahweh are everywhere, man. It just really, goes into the chariots, because the chariots are everywhere. And they are like, who's in the chariot? The angels. What does angel mean? Messenger. So really, nothing goes unrecorded. Nothing goes, in secret. Ezekiel 8 and 13. It says, He said also unto me, Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations that they do. Verse 14. Then he brought me to the door of the gate of Yahweh's house, which was toward the north, and behold, there sat women weeping for Tammuz. All right? And Tammuz, again, he's that Mesopotamian god, which, there's a lot of things, when you do the research on Tammuz, a lot of things come up. Like, for instance, it says he's the god of fertility, the Mesopotamian, Sumerian god of fertility. It says that he's, because he was the lover of Ishtar, in some formats. There's it goes into very similar, a lot of similar things with Tammuz and the false idol Jesus Christ. All right. It says in verse 15. So these women, these were Israelite women crying for Tammuz. It's just like now you got these stupid ass bitches from Israel crying for fucking JC. You know, this is an abomination to the Lord. You ever been to one of those churches back in the day when, before we were in this truth, you would go to the church and you would see people going up to the altar crying and shit. And the priest or the master of ceremony would be inviting them to the altar, and they'd be putting our hands on each other and all fucking crying. This is similar wicked ritual, especially these women weeping for Tammuz. They're weeping for, breaking the first commandment, worshiping. They're putting other gods before Yahawah B'Shem Yahushai. Verse 15. Then said he unto me, hast thou seen this, O son of man? Oh, and then just by the way, everything's spiritual. So I didn't make my point earlier, but I looked up Tammuz, right? And the day they were basically was the day to worship Tammuz was actually today, which is June 21st, and it's either the 20th or the 21st. And what it is the summer solstice. So everything's spiritual. I picked up those 2 pages that were ripped out of my Bible, and I started reading it, and I started doing research, and it popped up that Tammuz was represented on the summer solstice, and then just by the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, comes to find out today was the summer solstice. It's 10:25 right now, so we're about to end the day of the summer solstice, which this is the day when they would worship Tammuz. So that's spiritual, man. I didn't plan to go in on Tammuz, and today happens to be the summer solstice. So that's Kal Allah Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Spiritual. Everything's spiritual, man. Nothing's a coincidence on him. And Yahweh, he's in control, and he's the one who does these things. So let's keep reading. Verse 16. And he brought me into the inner court of the Lord's house, and behold, at the door of the temple of Yahweh, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men, and with their backs toward the temple of Yahweh, and their faces toward the east, and they worshipped the sun toward the east. So not only were these women crying for Tammuz, which is a pagan god, false god, but the men were worshiping the sun. And this is, both of these things go into the modern Christianity, because that's why the modern Christianity, they go to church on what day? Sunday. Because why? It goes back to the sun worship. And then Tammuz, that goes back to I should say it the other way around. That worship of JC, Jesus Christ, that goes back to Tammuz. All right? So basically, the same abominations are being taken place right now here in America, Babylon the Great. You have our people, doing the Sunday worship, right? Which goes into sun worship. You have women crying for Jesus Christ, which is women in the ancient were crying for Tammuz. This was Ezekiel was in the Babylonian captivity. You see? So verse 17. Then he said unto me, hast thou seen this, O son of man? Is it a light thing to the house of Judah that they commit the abominations which they commit here? For they have filled the land with violence, and have returned to provoke me to anger, and lo, they put the branch to their nose. So Yahweh was like, do you see what's going on here? That's what he's showing us. He's opening our eyes. The prophets in this age, he's showing us, he's given us this knowledge and this truth and this understanding, so we're able to look at this just like Ezekiel was and be like, damn, look at all these abominations. Our people are filled with abominations. And he says, is it a light thing? in the house of Judah, which Judah is the head tribe, and the rest of the tribes follow Judah. So same thing here in Babylon. Judah is still the head tribe, and you got a lot of Judites going off big time, right? The rest of the tribes are following Judah. They're following, all the wickedness and abominations that Babylon offers. So he's saying, is it a light thing? And the answer is no. This is a heavy, heavy thing. And it's so heavy that it provokes Yahweh to anger and jealousy. And we read it in Proverbs. Let's get it again. Proverbs 15 and 10. Oh shit, what was that? What was that verse? I'm sorry, 15 and 3. The eyes... Oh no, that ain't the one. Let me see. I lost that verse I had. But it says, jealousy is the rage of a man, is what I'm looking for. Proverbs 6 and 34. So, for jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. So you think Yahweh Bashem Yashai is going to take this thing lightly? You think he's going to spare you in the day of vengeance if you're committing these abominations? You're worshiping the modern day Tammuz, which would be Jesus Christ, or you women crying for the modern day Tammuz, or you men worshiping the sun, going to church on Sunday. You see? So let me close this out. Ezekiel 8 and 18. It says, therefore will I also deal in fury. Mine eyes shall not spare, neither will I have pity. And though they cry in mine ears with a loud voice, yet will I not hear them. So you people who are not in the worshiping Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, you're worshiping all these other bullshit religions, bullshit idols. The Lord's not going to hear you when he puts you. He's going to make the men. He's going to make the militaries mighty men of Esau, and you Israelites who are in Esau's army, you're going to be crying like little bitches. There's no other way to put it. He's not going to hear your cry. He's not going to spare you. He's not going to pity you. He's going to deal with you in fury. Let's get that word fury real quick before I close out, because this is what Yahweh is going to do. He's coming back with fury. So it says the definition for fury is wild or violent anger. So it's not just anger, it's violent anger. And the similar words to fury is rage. All right, let me read the similar words. Rage, anger, wrath, passion, outrage, temper, savagery, madness, indignation, annoyance. I mean, you get the point? Ferocity, violence. You get the point? Vehemence, severity, savagery again. Force, power, strength. You see? So that word fury, it isn't no nice thing. The Yahweh Bashem Yahshai are not going to visit the earth and everybody's going to be holding hands and like the Christian church tries to tell you. That everyone's going to be holding hands, fucking niggas sliding down rainbows, eating fucking Skittles. Shit. No, it's going to be a day of violence, ferocity, a day of passion, wrath, anger, rage. All right? And it's because you Israelites provoke Yahweh, who is a jealous power. You provoke him to anger and rage, and he's going to put his indignation on you. If you don't come into this truth, if you don't believe the words of the prophets, there's no in between. You're good. This is your fate. You're going to get effed up. All right? So I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakak, Kodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And shalom to the elect.